Welcome to another edition of Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast, with your host, Brandon Morrell.
Hey guys, I'm Bigg Vinny, and you're listening to a grand slam of music, entertainment, and sports on the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBM 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream the show anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com and on the iHeartRadio podcast.
And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Always a busy day full of shows, and right in the middle of the thick of things is football season, college, NFL, high school. We're staying busy here on the show, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com and out there, thwn.org, and our friends at KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and also iHeartRadio podcast anytime, the sportsguyspodcast.com, and presented by our great friends at JK Subaru. The car buying experience is about to change. We'll talk more about that later on. Our friends at the Morrell Law Firm, and of course, Casey Beck, Chandler, Marie Music out there too, and Barkley Music and Media. He's got a brand new song out there called Walmart Drip. I love that title, and he's welcome back here on the show too. You know him for the great days of Trailer Choir. He and I have done some work over the past couple of years on this thing called the Backstage Pass. Bigg Vinny to the show. What's up, my man?
Holla, holla, what's up? Walmart drip from my head to my toes. Well, I got the nothing fancy hat on, but one day maybe there'll be a Walmart too.
Man, what's been up with you, brother? Talk about all these projects. You've been busy, right?
Ooh. Dude, I mean, I go nonstop. I've been actually just last week I had a big old thing in French Lick, Indiana. I had Eddie Montgomery from Montgomery Gentry there, and Taylor Holder played it in Saving Abel. So it was like a 2-day kind of little festival deal. Ended up selling like 1,800 tickets, and it just went awesome. Was super proud to be back with Eddie, just because me and him have history when we were on the Toby Keith tour together. I started DJing. That's been a cool new development. This all happened. I was literally in Vegas. I was playing for the 4th of July in Vegas. And then crazy enough, I sit there, I ended up talking to the DJ and found out that he made $2,500 more than I made to come play the same show. And I'm like, okay, well, this has got to change. I have 5 musicians to play and tickets to buy and food to buy and hotel room. And he just had him in his little box. So I was like, I'm going to learn how to DJ. So I got home. My wife's like, why are you spending $5,000 on DJ gear? I said, babe, I'm about to be the best DJ in all of country music. Next to DJ Silver, he'll be the best. But she goes, well, that's a lot to spend on something that you're not sure if it's going to work. I was like, oh, it's going to work. I promise you it's going to work. I was like, I don't go into anything not believing that it's going to work. She goes, yeah. She goes, you can believe it, but what if it don't? And I said, what if it does? And within a month, I got the box, and within a month after getting that box, I took a couple lessons from a good buddy of mine, and the next thing you know, bam, I got about 20 shows booked as a DJ, making pretty good money each night and enjoying it. So excited to have DJ Bigg Vinny in the mix now. On top of that, I own my Buffalo River Resort down there in Perry County. We do canoeing, camping, kayaking all through the summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day, but now we're getting ready for our first ever Haunted Woods, which is going to be a really cool attraction about an hour west of Nashville. So we're just going nonstop, trying to do stuff. And most importantly, waking up every day trying to be the best dad I can be and the best husband I can be. I usually fall short on the husband stuff, but the dad stuff, I'm knocking out of the park. So
you got to make time for those little ones too at the same time. I know for me, it's like my wife called me today. She said the daughter wanted to go to the garden center, what have you, and go get some plants and things like that. Sometimes it's like you step back from all this. We work so much, you and I do, doing this podcast and DJ and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, enjoying the simple things in life. I like to do that. Don't you?
What's crazy for me is like, if honestly, and I've talked to my wife about this, like if I didn't have so much love for entertainment and putting on the show, I would literally live in the middle of the woods with nothing else. Like I love riding 4-wheelers. I love being in the woods. I could sit on a front porch in the woods all day long and not have any regrets about it. So, but I do love people, and I love to communicate with people. I hate living in the city. Like my whole life, I grew up in the country. So living in the city with a house 5 feet on either side of you and all that kind of stuff. Great neighbors. I got great neighbors. I'm blessed to have great neighbors. But if I had my druthers, I'd have 20, 30 acres in the middle of nowhere, living on top of a hill with, collecting rainwater to drink.
Hey, give me kind of state of the health in the music industry right now. There's so many great females doing their thing, and of course males too at the same time. One of them is we're going to talk to next week here on the show. One of my favorite guys. You mentioned his name there too at the beginning of the show. Taylor Holder, blowing it up out there across everything he's doing. So many great, guys, ladies. Give me kind of that. You've been doing this thing a long time, well over 20 years. You mentioned Show Dog Records, Trailer Choir. You and I had the big thing last year to benefit Toby Keith out there in Nashville at the Wild Beaver. Talk about just how much it's changed and it's ever changing now, and give me a health update, what you think about the industry.
I think for the independent artist right now, it's the healthiest it's ever been, because you actually have a chance. You have a chance to be heard. You got to make great content. What makes it hard for you is you got to pay for everything. You got to pay for or you got to learn how to be a video editor, and you got to learn how to create scripts and all that kind of stuff. You got to use AI where you can use it. I mean, all those things are there. And so what the advantage that a big label has is they have a lot more money to spend on people that are a lot better at doing that than you, but you still have a chance to do it. You just got to work twice as hard. You got to go out there and make the stuff yourself, create the songs, record the songs, all that kind of stuff. The good thing is it doesn't cost near as much to record as it used to. I mean, used to go in and record a record, you had to have, all the proper band guys and studio time, studio A, room B5, whatever. I mean, you had to have all this stuff. You had to pay cartage fees, all this other stuff. Now, I mean, honestly, if you're a decent musician, you can sit in your bedroom and make a great little record that's good enough to put out. You can get your distributors. There's so many different distributors now, and you don't have to like win them over. They just have to be like, cool, okay, you're going to put your music out through DistroKid or Symphonic or any of them. I don't know how many. There's like 8 million of them now. So it's like you have a chance, but you still got to go out there and you got to build the product. The hard thing about it is now everybody's got a chance. So now, as much as it's up to you to create the great content and the great song, you also have hundreds of thousands of millions of other people that are out there trying to create their great song and their best stuff. And people can only watch so much. People's interest really goes quick. A guy like Taylor Holder, I think, is set up to be a superstar in country music because he already knows how to get the attention of people on the internet. He already knows how to make people stop. He's built 20 million people just on TikTok alone that are on there checking him out every single day. So once he figures out how to convert those people over to monthly listeners on Spotify, I mean, if you have 2 or 3 million monthly listeners on average and you got 5 or 6 songs, even if you just have that, you can make, 20, 30, 40 grand a month and never have to leave the house. So if he can figure out how to convert, 50% of that, if he can get 10 million monthly listeners, he's going to be just crushing the game. But he's already out there doing great. I just had him at my show last week. His show has gotten, when he first started, he was still learning how to put on a show. He was a guy that was on TikTok for 30 seconds. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, you got to put on an hour and a half headline and set. Dude, he crushed it. I mean, he was great. He had a Lil Z with him. He's, Lil Z's up there doing backflips. He's got Andrew Sevener, who was on The Voice, plays guitar for him. He's up there ripping some leads, singing some big old songs. He's a great singer. And Taylor is just, even as big as he's already gotten, he's very humble and down to earth. And I think you got to have all those facets. I mean, he's a good-looking kid. He's got some good songs, but he's also humble enough to realize, like, hey, I got to still do a lot of work, even though I have this big following. At one point in time, I think the numbers I heard was he was doing somewhere around $500,000 a month just in sponsorships. Whenever he was, during 2020, when TikTok was first blowing up, it was kind of unbridled before, they kind of put their, like, hang on a second, we're going to get a piece of that on there, like Facebook and everything else. But I think the state of the business is it's definitely in an odd spot because you got to figure it out, but at least you have a chance.
Yeah, no doubt. And well said there too. And like I said, you got to bust your ass every day too. Like I said, nothing's given to you in this industry, whether it be radio, podcasting, or like I said, even as an artist too as well. Well, time to play it. You guys have been waiting for it. Walmart Drip. It's Bigg Vinny, BiggVinnyOfficial.com for more information there too. And of course, DJ services available now too out there. In the Backstage Pass coming right back, playing it. Walmart Drip here, the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned after a word from our sponsors.
Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. Drip so strong you can call it a flex. It ain't a rollie on my wrist, baby, it's a Timex. $10 golf shirt made by Reebok. Belt buckle front tucked, even got the collar pop. 40 years old, but I'm looking retired. This Walmart Drip got me looking straight fire. And my girl saying,
oh, he's so sexy.
Call me Walker Hayes, cause I'm feeling so fancy like Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. You can't get enough of that Walmart Drip. The 65 looking fine is Walmart Drip. You know we just stopped by for that Walmart script. He's got the grandkids for the weekend. Time to spend little 20. Talking charcoal, hot dogs, water hose, kiddie pool. Never buys name brand, only great value. It's his favorite spot, the one-stop shop. Cashier's calling him pops. I say what? Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. From the head to my toes, got that Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. Walmart Drip. You can't get enough of that Walmart Drip. One kid buckled in, one kid kid on her hip. She's putting miles on this buggy on this Walmart trip. She hits a toy aisle for that birthday gift. Now she's tapping on that iPhone grocery list. Cause she's a superhero when it comes to savings. Got them BOGO coupons, eggs and bacon. Drew Barrymore lips, perfect for kissing. A butterfly sundress, Jessica Simpson. That's Walmart drip, Walmart drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart drip. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. You can't get enough of that Walmart drip. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart drip. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. You can't get enough of that Walmart drip. Got the Jake Paul W, Snoop Dogg double smooth. Even Martha Stewart looking good in the kitchen. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. Overalls, work boots, straight blue collar. Every tool you need and it's all $1. If your kitchen needs a fixin', if you need a television, if you're hunting or fishing, man, you can be a baller. Flowers for the missus, now she's giving me kisses. I think you need to take a listen to this Walmart tip. You'll be living and loving, wrapped in a hugging. You just can't get enough of that. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart drip. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. You can't get enough of that. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart drip. Walmart drip, Walmart drip. You can't get enough of that Walmart drip.
Hey y'all, this is Nashville recording artist Sunny Sweeney, and you're listening to the best in music and sports, the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream anytime on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org. You can also listen anytime on iHeartRadio podcast.
At JK Subaru, we love our cars.
And we love our customers.
We believe in being a positive force
in our community by being involved and giving back.
Respecting your time every time.
Our promise is a brighter future.
We all do our part to keep our promise to you.
At JK Subaru, we are more than just selling cars.
We are your neighbors, friends, and even family.
More than a car dealer, our people make the difference. JK Subaru at the airport.
Hey everybody, this is Jarrett Ray Reddick, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org and on iHeartRadio podcasts.
Are you looking to increase your online presence? Are you searching for a new logo or company branding? Have you been considering more ways to reach the world with your business, ministry, or church's message? Barkley Music and Media is an award-winning design company that utilizes the latest technology while keeping the integrity of over 30 years of customer service. Web design, graphic design, multimedia, video editing, voiceover, commercials, logo design and branding, photography, and much, much more. See portfolios and testimonials online at www.barkleymusicandmedia.com or contact them today at 502-382-8299. Barkley Music and Media, your connection for the best in multimedia. Call today, 502-382-8299, or go to www.barkleymusicandmedia.com. Barkley Music and Media, integrity, technology, and design. www.barkleymusicandmedia.com.
Hey y'all, this is Nashville recording artist Mary Sarah, and you're listening to the best in music and sports talk, the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Stream the show anytime at thesportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio podcasts and at thwn.org.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Hey y'all, this is Nashville recording artist Trey Calloway, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and stream anytime on the sportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio podcast and on thwn.org.
And back here, KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and our friends out there, the sportsguyspodcast.com. Yeah, I just used Barkley Music and Media, guys, if you want to take your business to the next level. It's all about that presentation. You can just check out the newly renovated the sportsguyspodcast.com out there, and also iHeartRadio podcast, now a top search podcast on iHeartRadio. Back here with Bigg Vinny and Walmart Drip. So I love, first of all, the title of this, and it was kind of cool. You put some great lyrics in it, no doubt, which was so awesome to come up with. How did this one originate, and just the idea? I'm interested to hear this very story for this one.
You know, what's cool is like I had probably the most fun writing this song since the early Trailer Choir days of writing all those kind of fun songs. I love writing serious songs. I love writing songs that is going to rip your heart out, or it's going to make you flash back to a time in your life that you enjoyed or miss your grandma or whatever. I love writing those songs, and I believe that's what people consider real country music. But I also think that people forget about hee-haw and how fun, country music has always been fun. When you really look back, I think back to Hank Williams with Hey Good Looking, which I don't know if he was the first one to cut it, but that's the one I heard. But anyways, with this song, it was kind of funny. My wife and me had talked for probably 2 months about this big eclipse that was coming up. Now, I'm personally a flat earther, so you can quote me on that. So I don't know what we're seeing when we're seeing eclipse, but I know it's not the shadow of the earth. But anyway, we'll get into that another time. That's a whole other podcast episode. But we wanted to watch this eclipse, and we didn't have any glasses. So my wife says, "Hey, we're gonna have to go to Walmart. Today's the day of the eclipse." And I said, "Okay, let's go to Walmart." Well, I didn't realize I was getting tricked into going to Walmart. We get there, and I look at her and say, "Hey, listen, when we get in here, we are only buying these glasses and nothing else." And she says, "I just got to get a few things." So when your wife tells you, "I just got to get a few things," for all you guys that ain't married yet, just know that means $500 is coming out of your bank account immediately. So I was kind of pouting. I was kind of going there pouting a little bit now. And luckily, I looked over and they had this new Snoop Dogg line of swimsuits for men. And I look over and it's got a net jersey, so you can kind of see my nipples through it. I was kind of excited about that. Then it had those the John Stocktons. If you're our age, you'll know what the John Stocktons are. But we have these old kind of chubby shorts, the shorty shorts, come about halfway down your thigh. And I was like, man, I'm gonna look great in that. But it had like a picture of like Miami sunset with the sun going down behind it and the palm tree swaying, and it was like turquoise and green and red and yellow. And I'm like, dude, I got to get this thing. So I get it. I take it over to my wife, and she goes, "I thought you said we weren't getting anything." I was like, "You got like 5,000 things." And she says, "Yeah, but mine's food." I was like, "Yeah, well, keep shopping because I like that stuff." Anyways, we get home, and I do what every guy does. I immediately put on this swimsuit, and I'm super excited about it. And I start going, "Dang, girl, you get all this drip." And she goes, "What do you got?" I was like, "No, my drip, my fit, girl. You get all this drip." And she goes, "I have no clue what that means." I was like, all the kids on TikTok, they're calling their outfits is called their drip now. It's what they're dripping. Like Bruno Mars was dripping in finesse. I'm dripping in Walmart. And she was like, okay. She's like, well, you're 40. And I said, yeah. I said, but I feel like I'm retired though, baby. And she's like, oh, okay. And I start going, Walmart drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart drip. She goes, stop. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. She goes, no. She goes, stop, go inside and write that song. I'll let you know when the eclipse is going to get here. She goes, that's the dumbest thing you ever come up with. Probably be a big old hit. So I was like, okay. It's like, so I go in there, write like a verse and chorus. And it was like, the original was like Walmart drip. From my head to my toes, got that Walmart drip. I'm talking socks and Crocs, but not the real ones, though. They're called Rugged Sharks, and they're on discount, yo. And it was just funny. I made this little video, and I snapped a pooper scooper, like wearing my dad's stuff, and snapped a pooper scooper in the thing, and got 30,000 views. So it was like a kind of a little mini, for me, almost mini viral, not for Taylor, because everyone gets like 500 million. But either way, I was kind of excited about it. Now, I don't think that much of it. Now, I kind of put the song to the side. Well, I go to a school up in Salina, Kansas, and I was speaking at this school because I do a lot of school, speak at a lot of schools around the country, just about anti-bullying and childhood obesity and things like that I went through. So I go there and I speak, and all of a sudden my buddy Jared Blake, who also will speak with me sometimes, he goes, hey man, you ought to sing Walmart Drip. And I was like, I don't even have that whole song. It's just a verse and a chorus. He goes, yeah, I think the kids will like it. You should sing it. I was like, okay, whatever. So I sing Walmart Drip. And I get through it and then sing the chorus, and all of a sudden the kids are singing along to every single word of the chorus, and they're like, Walmart Drip, and they're screaming it at me. And I get done, like, dude, can we go download that song right now? Where can we go listen to it? Can we stream it? Where's it at? What's your socials? I'm like, dang, dude, maybe I need to record this song, And so I went home, literally after that week, I went home, I finished up the song, And I was pretty cool because my wife was a songwriter on it because, she was there talking about, she goes, well, I always have to go get the birthday gifts for all the birthday parties I go to. She goes, I do half of our grocery shopping there. She goes, every now and then I pick up a little sundress, she's like, yeah, she goes, I get everything from there. So I was like, okay, well, that's a great incentive. I'll put all that in there. And then she's a writer. My wife's a phenomenal talent anyway. She moved here, went to Belmont and graduated with honors in performing arts. So she's way better than me. And then my songwriting mentor, Ken Harrell, I called him because I was like, man, I said, I just feel like I want this thing to be, kind of eclectic. I wanted to kind of hit with everybody. And I said, what do you go to Walmart for? He goes, oh, well, I got to go there and get my prescriptions filled. He's about 65. I got to go there and get my prescriptions filled every week. He goes, I got 6 daughters, so I got a bunch of grandkids now. She goes, so half the time I'm in there buying, hot dogs and macaroni and cheese and charcoal to do a cookout and a kiddie pool here and there. I'm like, all that's going in there. He goes, and he literally said to me, he goes, but if you're going to put that in there, he goes, I always buy the Great Value brand because it's way cheaper. And I was like, dude, I got to put Great Value in there. So anyway, so I had them two come in as songwriters with me on the song because they gave me so many great ideas for it. But I just had the most fun just coming up with, okay, what does a mom experience inside of Walmart? What does a 40-year-old dude experience, when he goes in there and starts looking for his golf shirt to go out with his buddies next week? What does a granddad or what does a blue collar worker, like I started thinking about all those different things and how could I include everybody in it, but also kind of give it like the life that I've lived. For me, I know there's like these thing called the people of Walmart or whatever. It's supposed to be like this negative website, but I always have so many great memories of Walmart. I have all these memories when I was a kid of hiding in the clothes rack and scaring my mom or, or going and picking out a Ninja Turtle for your birthday. And like we always had these great memories. Now we didn't have anything in my town. So going to Walmart was 45 minutes away where I grew up. So 45 minutes to get to the Walmart. So when you went to Walmart, it was like a treat. Like you got to go for your birthday to Walmart. Yeah. So anyway, so I just had all these great memories of Walmart. And I said, because when I first started kind of writing, and I was like, oh, I can make it funny about the craziness that happens. And I was like, what? I don't feel that way about Walmart. I feel like Walmart is this great place that you really can go get most all your stuff done in one stop, and with the way how busy life is now. And I'm the kind of person, I can order some stuff online, but I got to try on clothes. If I order something online, it never fits right. I mean, my chest is 60 inches around. I mean, there's nothing that fits me right. And even when I get a shirt that's big enough to fit around my chest and shoulders, then it's a box around my belly, it just like hangs, So I have to find certain shirts, certain fits, all that kind of stuff. So I'm still the kind of person that wants to be physically in a store and try it on. Maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. But either way, I just wanted it to be this crazy, fun thing that was just true to my life. And I thought other people would identify with as well.
I love that story too. And like you said, so descriptive in there too about, you mentioned going to Walmart trying on clothes because you're right. We're in there 2 or 3 times a week sometimes, and all the grocery bill, you're going to have at least $300 to $500 come out of your pocket.
It's happening every week.
She goes, I go, whatever it is. I spent another 200 and something on a vacation we took down to Corpus Christi a few weeks ago.
Yeah, don't go in there not knowing what you need because you're going to go in there and be like, well, you know what? Maybe I do need a new blender. We have a perfectly fine blender at the house. Yeah, but look how cool this box looks. What if this one blends it better than my blender?
I got one now. She told me last night, she says, honey, go get me a bread maker. I was like, well, I know you can make the good bread when she does it. I'm like, okay, you just want it easier now? So we'll go to Walmart to look for a bread maker tonight. That's fine,
Yeah. I already make that bread, baby. That's what you should tell me. Baby, I've been making the bread for a long time.
I got to give her that expression next time, too, because they all want it, no doubt about it, whether you're doing podcasting, radio, or you have a day gig, too.
Now, what's her specialty bread? She doing the sourdough thing?
Yeah, I think it's like the sourdough, but it's like also the less sugar, because you get older, you got to watch your sugar intake and you got to eat a little bit more kind of healthy and stuff like that too. So it's
has she made you a pepperoni loaf yet?
See, I'm watching the weight I'm losing too. Like I said, back in the gym full time.
Yeah, this is for specialty times. This is for your cheat day, your cheat meal.
I'll tell you what she did tonight. Hey man, a barbacoa. The tongue in cheek, that barbacoa, I love that stuff. I had to watch how much I put on there too, but I was like, let me put a lot of avocado with that and make a little taco on there. So.
That's great, man. Well, that's cool. No, I love it.
Watching the chicken fish leaner now too on the watching a lot more protein, but of course chicken fish. Watching the red meat intake, all that kind of stuff. Because it's the older we get, man, we don't get any younger. That's just part of it.
I don't know. I get better looking, but not younger. That's the weird thing. I just keep getting prettier every day I go. I'm glowing.
You're glowing.
Hey, listen, my wife got me actual face cleaner. She goes, "What do you clean your face with?" I'm like, "The same soap I wash my body with." And she's like, "You need some face cleaner." I'm like, "For what?" And she goes, "It's less harsh on your face." I'm like, "Babe, I've been cleaning my face with Irish Spring Sport for my entire life. And she's like, yeah. And she goes, and now look, she's got me all smooth looking.
Smooth looking, man. I like that.
It's got some kind of banana peel in it and avocado and coconut oil. I don't know what else. It's something, but it smells good. So
we can come back and talk about that soap and what you cleaned your face with too. We got to play some more of that Bigg Vinny music here. One that's not released yet, but we get to play here on the Backstage Pass. Having fun here again. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, THWN.org, iHeartRadio Podcast, and the Sports Guys Podcast.com. By your name, here it is from Bigg Vinny too. You'll get the gist of this. Love this one too. A tribute to all those great grandmas out there too at the same time, and just any female for that matter. We love them so much. Coming back, more with Bigg Vinny. It is the Backstage Pass. So stay tuned.
She lives in room 203, Perry County, Tennessee. Nothing but a bed and an old TV. They used to stop by every day, but after 3 years, some things change. Now they only visit her on holidays. But every Saturday morning, I've got time to spare. I never know who I'll be till I get there. Sometimes I'm her brother, sometimes I'm her best friend, sometimes I'm just another old flash from way back when. I've been her dad, I've been her son. It changes week to week. You know I could be anyone, but I listen to every word she has to say. Even though she never calls me by my name. Last week it was 63, she said. Somebody shot Kennedy, and I watched the tears roll down her face. She moved on to Vietnam, where they sent her only son. She looked me in the eyes and said, thank God you're safe. Oh, and then she offered me a piece of her sweet pecan pie. Said it just come from the oven. I just smiled. Sometimes I'm her husband, sometimes I'm just a child. Sometimes she's back in high school, passing notes across the aisle. And I've been the preacher, I've been her boss, helping her through life or work. Every time she gets lost, I listen to every word she has to say. Even though she never calls me by my name. Well, it all just depends what year she wakes up in. I've been her brother, I've been her best friend, and I've been just another old flash from way back when. I've been the preacher, I've been her boss, helping her through life or work. Every time she gets lost, I listen to every word she has to say. Then I kneel at her bedside and help her pray. Even though she never calls me by my name.
Hey y'all, This is Nashville recording artist Karen Waldrop, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Stream the show anytime on iHeartRadio Podcast and at thwn.org.
At JK Subaru, we love our cars.
And we love our customers.
We believe in being a positive force
in our community by being involved and giving back.
Respecting your time every time.
Our promise is a brighter future.
We all do our part to keep our promise to you.
At JK Subaru, we are more than just selling cars.
We are your neighbors, friends, and even family.
More than a car dealer, our people make the difference. JK Subaru at the airport.
Hey, y'all, this is Nashville recording artist Robbie Johnson, and you're listening to a grand slam of sports and music on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. It's the award-nominated Backstage Pass podcast. Stream the show anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com and on iHeartRadio Podcasts, and also on thwn.org.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
What's up, y'all? This is Nashville recording artist Brooke Eden, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network. Listen anytime on iHeart Podcasts and at the sportsguyspodcast.com and on thwn.org.
Every morning, dreamers wake up ready to take on new challenges. What separates those who achieve greatness from those who dream? The answer is simple: opportunity, expertise, and the right connections. What if you had a key? What if you had a pass to exclusive insights, networking opportunities, and tools designed to propel you beyond your goals? Introducing Backstage Pass, the ultimate platform for those who refuse to settle. You're not just another face in the crowd. You're center stage, surrounded by a community that inspires and empowers. At Backstage Pass, you don't just grow, you transform. You build skills, confidence, and connections that open doors you never imagined possible. Wherever you're starting from, there's a path forward, crafted just for you. It's your time to step into the spotlight, ready to take your business or career to the next level. Your goals, your growth, your future. It all begins with Backstage Pass. Take the stage, take the leap with Backstage Pass. Visit us at thesportsguyspodcast.com and go to the next level.
Hey y'all, this is Billy Joe Jones, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Listen on iHeartRadio Podcast at thwn.org.
And back here, Bigg Vinny on the Backstage Pass. Yeah, a little jingle, man. You got to have a little fun with that, too.
I'm feeling good in there, man. That's feeling good on that, yeah.
Which is good out there. Hey, we've taken it to the next level. The newly redesigned website, the sportsguyspodcast.com. All the football broadcasts out there every Friday. And, of course, looking forward to some more great news coming up as we just keep adding affiliates out there. KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, thwn.org. And our friends out there, iHeartRadio Podcasts, anytime at the sportsguyspodcast.com. And now you can actually get fantasy football information and all the great sports stuff out there. All the articles, Fox Sports Ticker at the website, the sportsguyspodcast.com. Appreciate all the work the sponsors do, and also BarkleyMusicandMedia.com to take your business to the next level. So, we mentioned this one, By Your Name. You mentioned haven't released it yet, but I loved it because it was that tribute, and it's amazing where songs come from, and you get those ideas, but you see somebody, sometimes it is a personal connection. And this one was for me too.
Yeah, this song right here, I wrote this probably 18, 19 years ago. It was one of my first, it was my favorite song I've ever written. And I sat down to write a song about my dad. My dad had passed away just a few months before I wrote this song back in 2007. It was shortly after we had got the record deal with Toby. So I got to tell my dad about the record deal. And so I sat down to write a song about my dad, and it was funny enough, I had this guitar, it only had the top 2 strings on it. And it was a guitar, it was an old Washburn that my dad had given me, one of the first ones I kind of had started playing with, and, all that kind of stuff. But it actually came from my mammy. So as I was sitting there kind of playing just on those top 2 strings, I was kind of just thumbing along, on the notes across the top. And I just kind of come out with this thing. It was like, even though you never call me by my name. And I was like, well, this is about my dad. It's not about my dad. It's about my mammy. You know, I go to see her whenever she was in the nursing home. She was 101-year-old. So she was born in 1905, died in 2006, was 101 years old whenever she passed away. And what a life, you know, what an amazing, crazy amount of time to get to be on the planet. I thought about all the things that she saw, but the last about 10 years or so, she had Alzheimer's, maybe even, probably had it for 15 or so years. The last 10 got pretty bad. And I remember going to see her, and she would, when I'm 10, 11, 12 years old, and she'd be like, Ricky? And I'm like, no, I'm Vinny. Okay, Jason? No, I'm Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
She called me Andy Griffith one time. I mean, just never knew who I was going to be. So I kind of got in there, and I got a little frustrated, because I'm like, why does my mammy not know who I am? Because you don't understand when you're 10, 11, 12 years old, But as I got a little bit older, we had moved her into the nursing home, which my family owned the nursing home in our town. So it's kind of like she was still a family. But we had moved her into the nursing home, so make sure she could be taken care of, because she got to where she would walk out in the middle of the traffic and not know where she was at and all this kind of stuff. So we had to have her taken care of. But I'd go see her, and she'd never call me Vinny. She'd always call me something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd spend the whole entire time correcting her. The whole time I just sat there and argue with her about who I was. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be whoever she needs me to be that day. And they would always tell you, like the nurses and stuff back then, I think it's different now, but back then they'd always tell you, no, you gotta let her know who you are. That she ain't going to get better if you don't tell her, And I'm like, okay. And then I just noticed she never was getting any better. So finally I was like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with her the whole time. If she wants me to be Ricky, I'll be Ricky. If she wants me to be Jason, I'll be Jason, which was my uncle and my dad. My uncle Ricky, my dad was Jason. And so I just go in there and play the role of whoever she needed that day. And man, we had some great conversations. I had no clue what she was talking about, but I just went with her. And I think it made her feel so much better just not to be corrected the whole time, And eventually it got to the point where she couldn't even talk at all. And she was nonverbal and all that. And I just remember every year, everybody being like, well, it's going to be Mammy's last year. Now you better be at Christmas. It's going to be Mammy's last year. And every year we'd have another going to be the last year. And that went on for like 10 years, And then finally, she had passed away. I think it was, I don't remember the date in 06, but she passed away in 06. And then my dad ended up passing away just right at almost exactly a year later. And so it was a couple of big losses right there back to back. But it was so weird because for her, when she passed away, it was almost like I felt happy for her. I mean, I was sad I was losing her, but like knowing that she wasn't going to feel that pain anymore. She was going to get to go to heaven, and all of her memories would be back, and all the great things and how she would live. Whereas my dad, he was only 43. He was a preacher. And he was, he preached a sermon on Sunday, and Sunday night was called The Angel of Death, and it was about being ready to go when it's your time. He says, now look, he said, you could die in a car wreck on the way home tonight. You just never know. So you got to always be ready. He said, I know if I leave today, I know exactly where I'm going, and I'm ready to go. And sure enough, he died in a car wreck on the way home that night. And but we ended up finding out what caused the car wreck, because it was only about 500 yards from my front door where the wreck happened. And what had happened was he had a blood clot. He had went up, putting up his place for turkey hunting, and he had climbed up over a tree, and it kind of fell through with him. He hit his knee real hard, but like most dudes, he stood up, he could walk, so I don't think much of it. Well, ended up getting a blood clot in there, and it went through his system, and that's what actually killed him, which made him wreck, because it hit his heart while he was driving. So, and here's people ask me, how do you know God's real? My brother was grounded because he got caught smoking in the boys' room. And he was grounded. And if my dad grounded you, you were grounded. There was no getting out of it. There was no talking your way out of it. I'd never seen anybody do it successfully. And that night after church, he had, all the stuff from the day to get all those, because, churches at the end of the day, I mean, it's a church, but there's a ton of money coming in and out of there and stuff. You got to make sure reports are done and all these other things. So he's in there, he's getting all that stuff done. And my brother wanted to ride home with his girlfriend. And my dad said, no, you ain't riding home with your girlfriend. You're grounded. You're not going to. So they kind of just sit around a little longer. He goes back at, he goes, son, he goes, I done told you you're grounded. He goes, well, look, could you just add like a couple of days on the end of my sentence here? He's like, I just want to get home. He goes, I don't want to sit in here all night. I got to go to school tomorrow, whatever, And finally my dad said, all right, you can ride home with her, but that's going to add a whole week, He goes, so you make your decision. My brother decided to ride home with her. Now, most of the time, my brother probably about, man, a whole week just to be able to ride home, But he decided to go home with her. But had he not been with her, the way he hit the tree, had my brother been in the passenger seat, it would have killed him on impact. So it's wild enough to know, like, when people ask me if I think God's real, I'm like, yeah, because my dad would have never gave in, and my brother would have never chose a whole nother week of being grounded just to ride home. on a Sunday night. But that night he did. And that night he did too. And if my brother had been in that car, he'd have been killed on impact. The hole where he was sitting would have been completely caved all the way back to the back of the seat.
No doubt. I mean, God is real, no doubt. He works in mysterious ways. And you're right. When it's our time, it's our time. We've given this planet Earth all we can give it. Now time to go to a higher power and commit to him and become that spirit he wants us to be. I wanted to ask you, with as we close out here, you got to remember, of course, all the victims and the tragedy 9/11 was, back in the day. This is coming up on the anniversary of it too this week. What goes through your mind when you see the footage and they show it on the news and things like that too? And kind of give me the whereabouts, where you were and kind of what you remember during that tragic day.
So oddly enough, I was sitting in Miss Bates's history class when history was made. And I just remember the TV clip, clicking on. We had the TVs in each room and it played Channel 1, which I don't really know what the channel was, but it was called Channel 1 in my school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it clicked on and all of a sudden it said breaking news, a plane is hit, because we're sitting there. We think just some idiot flew the plane into the tower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what idiot flew this plane into the tower? I was like, how could you not see the tower? And we thought, well, it's a malfunction or this, that. Well, while we were watching the second plane hits, and my buddy Josh, he already knew he was going to the military before that, but he said, bro, this is an attack. And I was like, what do you mean it's an attack? He said, somebody's attacking. He goes, there's no way that two planes are going to get malfunction, and hit. He said, something is going on here. And of course I'm sitting there, I'm a hopeful dude. I'm like, no, I said, this is just an accident. We're not under any kind of fire or this or that. But I just remember sitting in there, and I remember once, it kind of came to light that something was going on. A lot of people getting scared, a lot of people being worried, and me sitting there going, guys, I just want y'all to know that their target is not Perry County, Tennessee. I promise you. There ain't nothing they're going to attack here. They're going to get a bunch of fields and trees is all they're going to get. But I just remember, trying to calm people down. That was the big thing for me, is like we had, a lot of the girls in our class were, worried. You had moms calling the school at, alarming rate and everything. But I've been on my own since I was 14 years old. So since my freshman year, so I just didn't have the same kind of upbringing or childhood. So my instant goal or instant instinct was to try and calm everybody else down and kind of be like, hey, everything's going to be okay, guys. Everything's going to be okay. But in my mind, I was like, dude, I don't know if everything's going to be okay, But that's just kind of who I was. The same way when my dad passed away, I was trying to make everybody else in the family feel okay about it. But, now it's like, it's kind of hard when you watch now because there's all the different conspiracy theories, and some of it seems pretty convincing, and it's hard to watch that and to think, I never want to think that there's ever anybody doing bad that's supposed to be doing good. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing we get showed now is like all these conspiracies come out. Now it's kind of like you're guilty until proven innocent with anything that happens. And I think for me now, I just try to look at it and say, hey, no matter what happened on that day, all the firefighters and cops that went rushing in were there to help. All those people that lost their families really lost their families. And so to me, I don't ever want to look at anything like that and diminish what the parts of it that it was that, I think it united America, the most united I've ever seen our country in my, 42 years of living. I've never seen the country more united than it was in the next, year or so after that had happened. And so I try to look at the positives and all that and just remember that, man, people really died. People really lost their loved ones. And, I do a lot for Tunnels of Towers, and there's people that, police officers, firefighters, military, vets and stuff that are still suffering today from those actions and those things that happened that day. So no matter what, my goal is to go out there and put good into the world and put good into those people that risk their lives for us and put their, lives on the line for us every single day. So.
Yeah, no doubt. We salute our military and our first responders here on the Backstage Pass. He's one of a kind out there, too. The music shows, and you go download the music out there, Walmart Drip, across all the DSPs. My brother, we appreciate the time here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to connecting next time we're in Nashville. And, man, always a pleasure to work with you, man. You're one of a kind.
You too, brother. Everything you've created here, man, you just went at it, and I've watched you just grow it and grow it and grow it, and I think that's just an awesome thing, man. You continue to go out there and do great stuff, and you do great things for us artists, great things for all the sports folks and all that kind of thing. So giving people a platform to be heard. I mean, at the end of the day, none of us can be successful unless somebody hears what we're doing. So I appreciate you letting me come on here and be in front of your crowd that you've created. And, hopefully I add to that crowd. So.
Hey, I love it too. BiggVinnyOfficial.com and go download Walmart Drip across all the DSPs. We'll talk to you guys on the flip side. More football coming up this week too. And like I said, fantasy football going on right now. My teams did pretty good this weekend. Hope yours did too, the same out there. We'll see you guys on the flip side. And thanks to all the sponsors. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.
Hey guys and gals, this is Megan Lindsay, and you're listening to the award-nominated Backstage Pass on KYBN 98.1, your Bay Area Broadcasting Network, and on iHeartRadio Podcast. Stream the show anytime on thwn.org and at thesportsguyspodcast.com.